Children's over-the-counter medications are found to have a new risk. A new study finds that fat may be the best diabetes fighter. A look at foods in the sky and what shoppers believe and don't believe when it comes to food claims. For the week of January 10th, 2010, this is Food News Today on location. Good morning. Food News Today is on location this morning and is pre-recorded. Therefore, we will not have a live chat following today's broadcast, but next week we resume our regular schedule and will be live. Today, we take a look at a new study that links diabetes and fat with a twist you may not think, and how to eat healthy in the air. Food News Today is sponsored by ConAgra Foods, who shares with me the desire and commitment to provide the latest, most interesting, and unbiased food news. In this morning's Food Safety Update, we head to New York, where a New York State representative is calling for and legislating for change. In a revealing study published in the latest issue of the Journal of American Medical Association, they found that 99% of the dosing cups included with OTC cold remedies are in fact flawed. In fact, the Institute for Safe Medication Practices has been noted as saying, and I quote, that parents are often confused by the measurements for liquid medications, giving children incorrect doses of OTC fever medicine 47% of the time. They often do not understand the difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. New York State Representative Steve Israel is on a mission to reduce the risk of kids overdosing on OTC remedies. His new legislation, which is entitled the Protecting Our Kids Medicine Act, has a goal to standardize dosing devices and measuring cups, and frankly, to simplify instructional labels. In the meantime, it's an opportunity for our industry to step up, take the lead, and improve packaging and labeling before one child is harmed. Retailers should position themselves as child safety experts and authorities, reinforcing the cautions, the label reading, and even offering free and accurate measuring cups. In health and wellness, high-fat diets and less diabetes. Our report this week takes a different look at fat. Are Harvard public health officials really telling us to skip the skim and indulge in whole milk? Well, a recent study from the Harvard School of Public Health might be telling us just that. Harvard researchers have identified a natural substance that's found in dairy that may substantially reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. The compound, trans-palmitoleic acid, is a fatty acid found in milk, cheese, yogurt, and butters. The researchers examined nearly 4,000 participants in the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute-funded cardiovascular heart study with a follow-up time of 20 years. All of the related metabolic risk factors were noted in each participant, as well as circulating trans-palmitoleic acid. Participants were also followed for the development of type 2 diabetes. At the baseline, higher circulating levels of this acid were associated with healthier levels of blood cholesterol, insulin levels, and insulin sensitivity. And during the follow-up, these individuals measured up to a 60% lower risk of developing diabetes. So the next healthy diet may well be one that indulges and includes high amounts of dairy fat. But before you reach for that pound of butter, Harvard researchers advised that the next step is an intervention trial to see if the compound has an actual therapeutic value. Let's head now to the skies as we Skype in Charles Platen in our look at what we are eating at 30,000 feet. Hi, Charles. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
So, Charles, I'd really like to know, why do you feel it's necessary to rank the airlines based on nutrition?
That's a really great question. I think it's really important to rank airlines by nutrition because the public wants to know this information. They crave it, they're interested in it, they're interested in their health, and their airlines have a responsibility to let people know the nutritional information in their foods.
I agree. Now, was there a specific instance that made you want to ask and find out this information?
Actually, 10 years ago, or about 11 years ago, I was on a plane, and 11 years ago, the airlines were just serving whatever was available. I guess, gosh knows where from, but they would put that food in front of you, and almost everybody ate it. It was free, and everybody ate it, and it was terrible. And I thought to myself, my gosh, this food is so high in calories, and all these people are eating it. We have a public health crisis, and I would love to know what the calories are in this. So I, gathered all the information, had a team of nutritionists. We analyzed the food, and that was the first airline survey back in 2000.
Since that point, have you seen a change in the airline's nutritional since you started this survey?
The foods have been improving significantly over the last 10 years, actually, believe it or not. And I think that the reason is because now airlines are seeing the opportunity for this to be as a profit center, right? I mean, think about it. People are a captive audience. There's no restaurants that they can sort of go from place to place and look at their menus. They are stuck in this seat, and the airlines are thinking, wow, we used to lose money. Now we can make money, and maybe the wave is for better for me kind of foods. So perhaps this is a great opportunity for us. So I started to see a rise in consciousness towards healthier fare, and now I've seen that the airlines are sort of looking at this as a profit center, not just a revenue source. So they're thinking, oh, well, healthy foods are a little more expensive, so maybe we need to cut back on those healthy foods. So there's this constant ebb and flow with the airlines. And I think that they're trying to understand what the best place for them is in terms of satisfying their customers.
As our viewers know, I travel a lot. So I have to know, what is the healthiest airline?
United Airlines ranked the highest on the survey. I think that they took a year off and they didn't do so well last year, but in general, they're paying attention to their food. They see it as a great opportunity for them, and they want to serve their customers. They clearly want to give nutrition information. It's not a problem for them, and they're really trying to make an effort.
Now, what are your suggestions for someone who's traveling and can't get on United Airlines?
Try to use things like video conferencing and stay home. I think that's really critical. I'm just kidding. I think that for the people that are on the go constantly, it's really important to plan ahead. And I know that people don't have the time. They don't really want to think about that. But it's really important to certainly eat before you get, even start your trip. I mean, you're at home. Usually people leave in the morning or in the afternoon, have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and make sure you're incredibly well fed. Don't think you're going to scramble and get something, at the airport, because there are often times we come there late. We don't have the opportunity to buy food. The foods that we do have an opportunity to buy are incredibly unhealthy. So it's really great to plan ahead.
Thank you, Charles, for being here today.
Thanks so much, Phil. Thanks for having me on the show. And, remember to, think before you eat and, be healthy.
Will do. The Supermarket Guru Consumer Panel weighs in on food claims. This week's Consumer Panel survey focused exactly on what food claims mean. Are they real? And are they believed? The question is, do they help or hurt decision-making at the shelf? Scanning the supermarket aisles, it appears today that it's impossible to pick up a package that does not have some sort of health or marketing claim on it. The question is if they're really a benefit to every time a shopper goes to the store. In our exclusive supermarketguru.com consumer panel quick poll, here's what we found. When we asked which food claims confused you, the most frequently cited claim by over half the consumer panel was, no surprise, all natural, followed by brain development and improving stamina. When asked, what do they do when they're confused? 33% say they don't buy anything. Retailers take note. Those are lost sales, which could be saved if you offer in-store help with customer service and dietitians. 10% search for info on their cell phones, and there's little doubt that will rise dramatically over the next 12 months. On a positive note, there are claims that are believed and compel shoppers to buy. 42% purchase products that claim to contain whole grains, and high in oxidants and heart healthy were also those of note. For Food News Today, I'm Phil Limpert. Thanks for watching.